to this day. To this day.
I hit him clean more times. I beat him.
Use your common sense. This is not me, y'all. I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this.
This MAGA country.
All right, I'm Bushido Spirit. Here I have Truth.
Hi, I'm Truth.
He is Truth. All right, let's get this show right on the road. So Ancestry, the company that's supposed to tell you, where you came from, they dropped the commercial.
Or who came in who.
Yeah, or who came in who, however you want to look at it, or who raped who. I mean, according to this right here. They dropped the commercial, and I guess they thought they were doing the right thing with this commercial. It's about bringing people together. The oppressed and the oppressor. So let me go ahead and bring this commercial up.
Abigail, we can escape to the north. There's a place we can be together across the border. Will you leave with me?
I'll mute myself. All right, now that is the commercial right there. How do y'all feel about it? And before I speak, I want to get y'all opinions in the chat below. How do y'all feel about that? That's not racist. It's historically inaccurate. I mean, I get, what? I mean, maybe racist.
Exactly.
Okay.
This nigga was tripping, bro. That's a BuzzFeed title. What follows that?
That's some clickbait shit. It may be a little bit clickbaity. I'll admit. But I'm
save that for the video title when we record this again. Don't say that to shit.
That is gonna be the video title. Honestly. So yeah, I mean, if you want to go that route, it is. I mean, you can't even say it like it's historically accurate. The truth of the matter is, we don't know. That may or may not happen. But we're gonna talk about the problems with it. Let's call it problematic.
Yeah, there's some problems with it. That shit is
problematic. Let's say it's problematic. How do y'all feel in the chat about it?
He told you that shit not racist. It's just inaccurate, and that kind of inaccuracy is kind of nah, bro. We're not gonna say that.
Is it rape or romance? That's the title I had up. So how you feel about it, Truth? Go ahead. I'm gonna let you go.
I'm just not a fan of romanticizing that period of history in any kind of format, my nigga. They even gave that shit the fucking the Dear Abigail music or one of them, whatever them fucking romances is called. Nah, you don't get a sweet little backtrack to some shit.
The Notebook music.
Yeah, the Notebook. The nigga Ryan Gosling or something just happened to meet Lupita and the fucking slave. Nah.
Well, yeah, like Guru said, most mixing was caused by rape, and they're trying to hide that fact. That is the main point that should be taken away from this, right? Ancestry.com is a place, it's a company that pushes you trying to find where you came from. They want to romanticize the shit and say that you came from a loving romance, and when it's really just rape, nigga. You were brought you're filled with. White rape.
No, not all mixed children are a product of rape. We're not going to say that.
We're not talking about now.
Why you hesitating?
We're not talking about now, man. We're not talking about now. We're talking about back then. If we go way, way back during slavery, why serenade it when you could just take it, man?
By the way, what's also funny about that kind of stuff? I mean, well, to be fair, though, if it pops up in Ancestry.com, it was probably consensual because they don't keep records on slaves like that, as far as I know.
Oh, is that so? You're saying that maybe just because of the record keeping, that everything that comes across their table, it might be some like marriage shit, like a what do they call that when you
like a certificate, if it's registered, if there's a trace of it, like a legal trace. I'm hoping it's not gonna go that far back. Okay, if we think about it logically, right?
Yeah.
If the worst happened and that's the link in your lineage, I don't think Ancestry.com is going to have any kind of, legal evidence for that to connect with. I don't know what they use. But I don't think word of mouth on who tapped who on the plantation would show up on that site. It's probably, legal freed papers, joining the family of so-and-so, that kind of stuff.
My big thing is we don't really see these types of stories. Like, they barely want to tell the real story of slavery. They barely want to show how bad it actually was. And
they love showing that. What you mean? We used to get a slave movie every other month.
It's worse than that. They don't talk about Reconstruction, Jim Crow. Actually, they don't talk about nothing. When they discuss any of those periods, it's like brief as hell. It's real brief. Even with the 12 years of slave shit, that's not as bad as it was. Like, there was some good white folks in there too. They want to put that in there. I mean, I guess, right? Because really, it was more like a horror film where there wasn't, like, come on, I don't know, man.
So you want like a Passion of the Christ, but for slavery?
Yes. give me my.
I don't know. In my opinion, like, I watched the interview with Vince Staples, right, and he had this sentiment that he expressed where he had this feeling not only in the people around him, right, that they didn't give a fuck about themselves, but he also reflected upon the fact that when you go to school as a black person in America, bro, like, you see your history as being a slave. Like, that's the history of black people in America, as being slaves, bro. So I mean, it's good to have the representation, I guess, just to fully speak to the atrocities. But we don't need more movies like that, to be honest.
Honestly, how many movies do we actually get it at? Like, I
feel like most popular black comedians from back in the day had to play a slave one time or another.
Well, that's not really that many slavery movies if you think about it overall. Hell, that's probably more Holocaust.
You saying you want more slavery movies? Like, I don't fuck with that.
No. I mean, your problem is that you want there to be more types of other films, and because there's so little black films coming out, period, you don't want that one black film or that one of two black films that come out to be a slave movie. I understand that,
because I don't think the point needs to be made at this point. Like, we know that the problem isn't that people don't recognize how bad slavery was. The problem is people think racism ended at slavery. That's the real education point. Like, you don't need to make a movie about how bad slavery is. That shit is a given. Like, niggas don't need to be told that.
I guess I did say slavery, but not even just slavery, but other parts in American history that were dark and traumatic for black people. They don't really show those moments, really, right?
Yeah, like when they bombed that whole fucking black town or whatever. Like, yeah, make movies about shit like that. That's definitely needs more exposure. But slavery, nah, bro, that shit dead.
I think people, because honestly, they are trying to erase that. They're trying to make it seem like it was not as bad. They do that with the textbooks all the time. It's like it gets a small little chapter, and there was really way more to it. We just taught that they picked some cotton, and they got whipped a little when they got out of line. Get back in line, niggas. That's pretty much what we taught, right? We're not taught about.
I don't think they even go into details in terms of education.
Yeah, they really don't go into details at all. But I feel like I think we need more of these films because people still don't get it. People still belittle it. And hell, I think people really believe that. I'm not even gonna get on that side. I was gonna say some shit. I'm not even gonna get on there. But my main issue with this commercial is that we don't really see this type of commercial when it comes to shit like the Holocaust or even shit like September 11. Like, we don't.
Imagine
we
it
don't
being,
get these type of things with that.
Hey, Bush.
Yeah, what up?
Imagine the commercial being like a Nazi spitting game to somebody in the concentration camp. Like, hey, Lamar, like, you really trying to live? Let me come slide you over here. Like, bro, like, just it's that kind of thing. Like, or they're on the Trail of Tears and it's just like, hey, you tired of walking? You can come in my carriage. Like, bro, what?
Yeah, we don't get that. Like the Nazi that falls in love with the Jewish woman. We don't really get those stories. And
that would be an interesting story too, not just for shock value. Like that would be kind of interesting to watch.
But nobody wants to see that shit. Nobody wants you to romanticize some traumatic ass event. Like, I don't want to see that shit, man. Fuck that. Get that
Which
shit
I think
fuck
is the
out
problem.
Here.
Like, it's not necessarily racist. It's just the fact that you're trying to depict some event like this in that kind of context. Nah, bro.
I mean, you can somewhat call it. You can call it racist. I feel like you can. I mean,
but how they didn't pick a side. Like, I don't think you can be racist without picking a side in some kind of way.
They did pick the side. They picked the side of, we want to make these white folks feel good. Like, that's the side they picked. When they make these type of commercials, that is the side they're picking. That's why in every,
I don't necessarily see.
That's why in every oppression film they gotta put a white savior in there. Like with 12 Years a Slave, it was who was it? It was what is his name? Brad Pitt. It was Brad Pitt in there. right? In Django, it was the German dude.
Wait, Bush. To be fair though, like Brad Pitt is the savior. Like, what we talking about?
Get the fuck out of here.
Bro, they got like 18 kids that had like most of them black. Like,
I don't even want to talk. I don't even want to get into that. Niggas just collecting black kids like Pokemon and shit out here, man.
Like the Infinity Gauntlet and shit.
Like fucking Super Bowl rings and shit, man.
Bro, they be invading countries like the U.S., but instead of oil, they just take children and shit. They gotta have superpowers or something. I don't know, bro. These kids gotta be special. Hold it down. So Morgan.
Yeah.
Bro, what did you? Okay, first of all, you've seen the commercial, right? You saw when we showed it.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts?
It was a great commercial. I don't see any problems with it.
Okay, but do you see? Were you following along with Bush's point? How that's kind of romanticizing that period, and he thinks that there needs to be more accurate description.
I don't think. Like, I remember Guru said Ancestry can't be putting rape in the commercials like that.
Well, I don't think the commercial should exist, period. So, like, that completely avoids that problem of putting rape in it. Just don't make the fucking commercial. Like, nobody wants to see this shit. Like,
how do they promote like their website, then?
I mean, they got probably tons of different commercials, sure, but this is not them not putting this commercial out won't collapse their whole fucking business. Stop, nigga. Stop. And they have different types of commercials that convey the same thing or something similar. That doesn't have to be this right here. This fucking fake romance between the slave and the white man. Like,
it's never happened or something.
How dare you doubt Abigail, nigga? How dare you?
Golly, what's wrong with you?
There you go again, man. Making the romance never happened. Who said that? Who said it never happened?
You saying they shouldn't show it like it didn't happen?
I'm saying they shouldn't show it because it's problematic. It confuses people. It makes
how if this happened and they show it, what's the problem?
Oh shit! He gonna try to free a slave, Morgan. Fuck.
This confuses people because people don't think it really was as bad as it was before, and this further dilutes that. Right? The people seeing how harsh it actually was. This makes it seem kind of light. That, you know, in this traumatic event of slavery, that they were able to still find love. Like, just
that's how they do love stories, bro. Like, despite all the odds.